The world of fashion is a glamorous place. You express yourself through your clothing. Your fashion style defines your personality. That is why we go gaga over sales. We love buying cheap and disposable clothes. And this is exactly how fast fashion operates. It is a multi-billion-dollar industry that manufactures off-the-runway looks fastly and sells them at a cheap price.
These are the examples of fast fashion retailers: Forever 21, Uniqlo, H&M, Zara, and many more. But behind all the thrill and glamour, what is the real cost of cheap clothing?
On the 24th of April 2013, the dark side of the fast fashion industry was brought into light. An 8-story building in Dhaka, Bangladesh that accommodates multiple clothing factories collapsed and resulted in the death of over 1,000 garment workers and more than 2,000 injured.
According to investigations, there were more than 130,000 safety problems in the building, but the garment workers were still forced to resume their work despite the existing dangers. What happened in Dhaka is just a snippet of the cruelty of this industry. Fashion brands opt for low-cost economies where labor is cheap, impunity in workplaces exist, and labor unions are prohibited or limited.
It is worth nothing that 80% of garment workers are women who work in unhealthy workplaces with no ventilation and access to clean water. More appallingly, these workers receive inhuman wages. In Bangladesh, the minimum wage is $58, which is not even half of the $308 living wage. In Sri Lanka, $51 is the minimum when it should be $308 to be a living wage. And in India, the living standard is at $231, but a minimum of $61 is only given to garment workers.
Furthermore, they are forced to work 14 to 16 hours a day, 7 days a week. And during fashion weeks, they have to work from day to dawn to meet deadlines from fashion brands. This is clearly a modern-day slavery driven by greed and the excessive demand for cheap clothing.
Some of the clothes that we wear are a byproduct of the blood, suffering, and exploitation of these workers. But why should this issue concern you?
When we consume the products of these exploitative fast fashion companies, we also support human rights violations. The real cost of cheap clothing is the lives of these people. It is the lives of women who work under hazardous sweatshop conditions. It is the lives of laborers and their families who rely on inhumane wages. And it is the lives of those who continue to suffer under the abusive hands of these capitalists.
Fast fashion production should also concern us because it produces disastrous effects on our environment. It pollutes rivers, dries up water resources, and accounts for 10% of global carbon emissions. According to the UN's forecast, emissions from textile manufacturing could escalate by 60% by 2030.
Hence, let us demand accountability.
Fight for ethical and sustainable fashion.
And boycott retailers who don't adhere to humane labor practices.
Because our clothes should not come at the expense of human lives.
Sign the petition.
Hashtag against fast fashion.